Welcome back. This is part 2 of building the album. Now, before I finish what I'm doing here, I want to tell you that if this is too much for you and you do not want to do this, I get it because I'm learning. So just take these 2 pieces off and then you have a standard 9x9 and then use some ribbon to close it. But if you're brave and you want to do this, then here we go. This piece here is a pickle. So I'm having to piece in 2 pieces in order to give the coverage that I want. So this diagonal here, I want to cover this, and then so this is what it's going to look like. I cut a piece that would come 1/16 of an inch off this edge and off this edge, and 1/16 here at the peak, but I didn't cover that because I am then going to come in with this piece, come up to that 1/16 line, and I've got 1/16 up here, and then I'm going to cover it, and that's how I am going to mask this corner up here. And then when we fold this, I'm going to push in along the 2 gusset edges again. So I ran my tape around, and I've got this tape, and I've taped this. So let me give you the measurements. This piece here will be 6 inches to fit here across this bottom. And then you're going to have this length is going to be at 8 1/8. So it will be 6 by 8 1/8. Now, I was concerned on mine about the peak on this meeting up here where it needed to. So I actually cut mine off at 1/4 of an inch. So this will be on here, like so. Now, if you can match yours up, great, but that's why I'm measuring here at 6 inches. So let's start with this piece because it's got to get done. Before I can add the next piece. Okay, so I'm come up about 1/16 of an inch, and I'm going to stay at 1/16 of an inch as I travel up the top of this, pushing some of that tape back. Okay, let's burnish. Now I'm going to take off this, and there's tape right there. And then these 2. Okay, so now I'm going to match this up to this and not this. So I want this to come up here to the top and be 1/16. And I'm going to line it up and I'm going to press this down. So this piece measures 5 inches across by a total of 8 7/8 in height. You're going to come in here and you're going to mark this little tick at 3 1/2 inches. And then you're going to come up this line and mark a little tick here at 6 3/4. And then you're going to cut it on that diagonal. So you'll match these 2 dots up on your cutting board. And then I'm going to take this tape off. And I'll bet diagonal album front instructions, you would think that I would have Googled to see if there were any instructions out there. But I like learning, so far I'm okay with how this is turning out. But I am going to erase this business. Okay, All right, so now I want to flex this up, and we're going to flex this up, and then we're going to push again. This is going to be difficult because everything's to my left. We're going to push this into that hinge, and then we're going to push this one into the hinge. Now this will get covered. I will be able to cut a piece a lot cleaner because I'm not having to cover. So I will worry about how I'm going to do this when the time comes. But now this is closing over fine. Okay, let's get this spine dealt with. I'm going to put some 1/2 inch tape all along these 3 rows right here. Excuse the awkward elbow reach, but if I turn this around so I don't have to do this, I've got all that album. I don't have much desk space in front of my hand here going this way. So it will just run into everything I've got sitting there. All right. All right, so you're going to cut a piece. This is going to measure, where's my ruler? This piece is going to measure in at 6 inches across by 8 3/4. Uh-oh, I cut it 1/8 too short. So hold on while I grab a piece of cardstock. So I want this to be 6 inches, gives us good spine coverage by 8 7/8 of an inch. Okay, so let's see if this, and does it match these? Perfect. Okay, so this is going to measure 6 by 8 7/8. We're going to tape around the perimeter. So here's my perimeter tape. This tape is going to cover this here. And then we've got the tape here. We're not extending this tape up here because that's what this is for. I am going to start with taking off just these 2. And then I want to balance the width on this. You know what, I'm going to go another row of tape. Okay. All right, so I'm going to balance this in between here, but I'm going to bring it down here so that it's about 1/8, 1/16 off the bottom, and it should match up to be the same on the top. I just adjusted this thing for Pete's sake. Okay. And then I'm going to sneak in here. Now I'm just going to let this piece just drop where it is for now. I'm not going to burnish it because I need to get in here. We're going to push this cardstock back into our hinge. So by burnishing it, if I was to do that right now, it would be so tight it would tear. I don't want to do that. I just want this to drop and relax. Normally, we'll push the paper down into the hinge and then we'll burnish and firm this up. Just tack it, and then I'm going to fold this piece, and then I'm going to fold this piece, and then I'm going to burnish this in here with the emphasis being the inside chipboard piece, because I want to highlight that so I know where to place my pages. All right, so lay this back down flat. Now we can burnish. So then when this all closes up, we have some nice corners all the way around. All right, so now we're going to put in our pages. You're going to cut two that are going to measure at 9 3/8 across by your 8 7/8 in height, and you will score it at 5/8 of an inch. Now I get to turn this and make an obnoxious mess. So I want 5/8 of a difference in between my two pages that I'm laying. But by using a 2-inch spine instead of my traditional 1 7/8 inch spine, there's going to be a little bit extra at one tail end. So I'm just going to back this off about 1/16 of an inch from this edge, and then I'm going to tack this down. I'm just going to gently lay it in there because what I want to do is turn this to make sure that this laid in here flat, and it did. So I can go ahead. Oh, it might help if I took the rest of the tape off. What a ding ding. All right, now the next one. Taking off all the tape this time. This is going to come up next to this, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to just line it up. I'm just going to gently tack it in place. I'm going to make sure that when I lay it down here that it's even space, and then I'm going to match up this one to it. Oh, that is so perfect. Now I'm kind of curious to see, I've changed this so that my spine piece was an even 2 inches. So if I measure this now from this inside highlight of that, I'm sitting here at 5/8 of an inch. I know I have 5/8 of an inch there. And from this edge to here, I have 5/8 of an inch. So just by backing it off from that a little bit, I was able to take up that extra 1/16 of an inch when I went from 1 7/8 to 2 inches. And that allowed me to cut this at a proper, okay, now the last thing, magnets. Now I'm using, I know that a lot of us play with basic gray, I do as well, but because this is an album front closure, if you've got super strong magnets, I would highly recommend that you use them. So I am going to take, these things are going to jump around here. I'm going to take, and I'm going to start, oh goodness sakes. Okay, I got to move that way out of the way. I want to start my magnet right about here. So it looks like I'm going to come down, what is that? I'm going to come down an inch off the top of this. So if I'm going to come down an inch, where'd my pencil go? I'm going to come down an inch. I want my first magnet to sit right here. And then I want to put another one from this magnet down. I want my next one to be down here at 8 inches. So I'm going to come in just a little bit. Mark that. I'll get back over there. And then now I'm going to put one right in the middle. Do I have another spacer? No. Like I said, and then I'm going to put one down here in this corner. I want magnets on this so that there is no contest on this closing or not. Come here. There's that one. I'm going to take off 2 more. And this one will sit down here. I don't know that I need to put one here. We'll see. If it closes right, we'll be good to go. All right, now. If you do not have super strong magnets and you want to use your basic gray, then I would say definitely put another one here. Okay, so I'm going to take each one of these off. And I'm going to make sure that this is coming together. There's my spacers. Look at that. Okay, let me put some tape on these and then we're going to see if, where'd my roll of tape disappear to? I think oh, there it is. I'm throwing them, I'm putting them where they don't belong. I'm not going to waste the tape by running it up this. I just want enough tape here so that they'll stay in place. And then when I put the pattern paper over them, they'll be sealed in there once again. Okay. Oh, Budamus. And we've got nice gap going here so that this isn't bumping into this one. And it is nice and secure, and we have good contact. Ta-da! All right, so now the next video we'll be playing with the outside of this and getting it to look the way my brain is trying to envision it. So thanks for playing along, and once again, if you do not want to do this, just remove these two pieces and put a ribbon enclosure. Okay? I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.